When creating drag and drop activities with Google Slides, there are a few things to keep in mind that we'll talk through first, and then we'll dig into how to create them. The first demonstration highlights two examples to consider when you're creating a drag and drop activity. The first is, what do you want to be able to be dragged? On this particular slide, we can drag our words that are built in shapes, but we can also click and drag the rest of the slide, and maybe that's not what we want. So let's look at the next example. In our second example here, we can drag our words, but the other parts of the slide are not draggable. In our third example, we have shapes and images in the margins of the slide, and they can be dragged onto a picture. Think about your desired design for your activity. Now let's look at how to create a drag and drop activity in Google Slides. The first is we want to rename our slide. The next thing we want to do is to click on the little down arrow that's next to the plus to add a new slide. And if you've ever wondered where these things come from, that's what we're about to dig into right now. So let's click out, and we're going to go to View, and we are going to go to Theme Builder. Now the Theme Builder is an example of all of those little slides that we had just looked at, and they set things up for the user, basically as a template for the user. We are going to click down to the bottom of all of them, so it's blank, and we are going to duplicate that. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to press Command D, and you'll see that I'm adding several of those. You can understand that because the X's are moving up, the slide is blue, and I'm pressing Command D. If you're on a Chromebook or a PC, press Control D for the same result. Now I'm going to go to one of the slides in our theme builder, and I'm going to build out everything that I do not want to be able to be moved. So first I'm going to click on my text box placeholder, and I'm going to select a text box. I'm going to click and drag, set my font, set the size of my font, and here I go. Now, a couple of things. First, it auto sets the C to be capitalized, so I'm going to put that as lowercase. Now you'll also notice that this has a red squiggle under it because the word consider is incomplete. If you right click or control click on that word, it will show you your spelling options. I'm going to click ignore all because it's exactly how I want it to be, but I don't want that red line. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my shape. So I'm going up to my shape tool. I would like to have a rectangle with rounded edges, and I'm going to build that out. Now I can play with the color. For our example, I'm going to go with transparent. I'm going to make the line just a little thicker. So I'm going to go to the line tool at 3, and so now here is my little rectangle. If I would like to make this rectangle draggable, I'm also going to take a moment. I'm going to copy it. And then I think everything is on my slide that I would like to have for now. So let's go back to slide 1 by just clicking on it outside of this theme builder. Now if I press the little down arrow, we'll notice there's a new option here. There's blank, blank 1, and blank 1 has, if we select it, the content that we just created, and it is not able to be moved when it's clicked on. Now remember, we copied our rectangle, so I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to drag it up to the top. Eventually I want this to be one of my draggable objects. I would like it to have color, so I'm going to my paint bucket, and I can pick whatever color I would like to have it fill. I can then duplicate that once or twice, or as many times as I would like, and I can drag those in also. Using the guides, you'll notice as you play around, the little blue lines will show how far apart they are, so you can set them up so they're even. The red lines will show you if you have them parallel with each other. You can play around with that. You can also then change the other colors of the boxes. To set the font, we could do individually by clicking and picking the font that we would like. I need to click on the 3 buttons to get the color I want, and then I can type my ER. It's too small. Make that, there we go, nice and big. If I wanted to do that same command, make it a different font with the same color and size, and I only want to do it once, I could multi-select my shapes. If I click on one, hold the Shift key, and click on the second, both of them are selected. Now whatever adjustments I make, it will apply them to both shapes, and I only have to do it one time. So now if I go back, pick my font, set the size, click on the 3 dots, change the color, and now I click off of it, click on one, and we're set. Now whenever anyone clicks on the colored parts of the shapes, they'll be draggable. Remember, if you do click on the letters, it will give you a cursor. So we want to get used to clicking and dragging on the color, not the letters, just off of the letters, and they will be draggable. If you wanted to create a picture to be a backdrop, let's go back into our theme builder. And we'll scroll down, we'll find our next blank that we created as a duplicate. So now I've gone to the National Archives. I know that the images here are from the United States government, so they are free to use as they're in the public domain. I am going to control click or right click on my picture, and I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to come back to my drag and drop activity, and I'm going to go to my theme builder slide, and I'm going to paste that with a Command V or Control V, depending upon my device. Now I'm going to design my slide however I would like it to be. If there were any text or directions that I wanted to add, this would be a good place to do it. So I've typed my directions. I think everything is here that I want to have stable and locked in on my slide. So I'm going to leave the theme builder, and I'm going to click back on the far left side on the film strip, and I'm going to go back to my little down arrow and find the slide that I just created in Theme Builder. Now I want to make my draggables. If I can't see enough of my slide margins, I could change fit to be 75%, and I can see where I'm going to put my draggable things. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a shape, and I'm going to drag it. I can type on it. I can change the colors. That looks great. I happen to know that Wikipedia has a quality collection of free flags for every country, so I'm going to copy that image, and I'm going to paste it over in the margin. I can shrink it down by grabbing a corner. We don't want to drag the sides because they distort. Undo that with your Command Z or Control Z. And you can repeat that process for as many things as you would like to have be on the sides in the margins. You can play around with the fit to see how large or small things need to be to see those things on the side, but you have the sides, you have the top. There's a lot of real estate for putting in things that can be dragged onto the slide itself for the activity. So in this little video, we discussed how to go into View and Theme Builder, how to duplicate the blank slides, and then build whatever you don't want to be draggable into your project. And then to come back over to the slides themselves and build out whatever you would like to be mobile. With that, let's give it a try. It's your turn.